Alright. Um, just to remind you guys, like I said before, that I'm gonna get to the one where I stopped writing, where I'm gonna stop writing, but I did come up with more ideas without writing it. I did come up with more ideas later in the episode. Alright. And now, on to episode 5. Stephen brings Purple Diamond, her maid, and her daughter up the steps to his former bedroom. "Welcome to my old bedroom," said Stephen. "How long do we need to stay here?" said Purple Diamond. "You're gonna have to stay here for a while, until we'll finally think that you are nice enough to go back to your home. Because your daughter and your mistress stated that you get angry also later. No. Stated that you get angry a lot later, and you will kill people outside," said Stephen. "But what shall we do while we're staying here?" said Purple Diamond. "Oh, I have an idea. You guys can play a game called Super Smash Bros. Brawl." And the 3 gems are then confused. "And what is a game?" said Hemimorphite. And what is Super Smash Brothers Brawl?" said Kunzite. Stephen then whispered, "All right, they never came to Earth before." Just let me show you," said Stephen. Stephen turned on the game and showed them how to use the remote and the buttons. Stephen and the others played the game. Stephen had an idea to make their own characters. Stephen showed them then Stephen showed them how to create their own characters by him calling his character Stephen, Purple Diamond, by him calling his character Stephen. Purple Diamond made her character named Purple Diamond, her mistress made her character named Kunzite, and her daughter made her character named Blue Hemimorphite. Then he shows them how to select their fighting methods by making him a brawler, because that's his actual powers. Sorry, I was about to say Pink Diamond. Purple Diamond selects guns, because those are her actual powers. That's what she actually does. No, they're not actually powers. Kunzite selects magic because she's like a magician and grants the diamond what she wants or needs. And Hemimorphite selects her character to have telekinesis because that's her actual powers. They then begin to fight. "I'm taking you guys out," said yeah, that's what he said. Said Stephen while punching them. "Oh, you won't do it anymore," or "Oh, you won't do that anymore," said Hemimorphite as she's throwing Stephen out of the fight, and then he lost. "Oh no! Oh no!" said Stephen, then he laughs. "I'm gonna cast you a spell, Hemimorphite," said Kunzite. Oh no! Oh no! No. Oh, wait, that's Kunzite's voice, or maybe, just in case if I had the voices wrong. "I'm gonna cast you with my spell, Hemimorphite," said Kunzite. "Oh no, I'm poisoned, and I lost." Or she's like, "Oh no, I'm poisoned, and I lost." That's what Hemimorphite said. "Die, Kunzite, die, die, die!" said Purple Diamond. The others were terrified at Purple Diamond using her guns to kill Kunzite's character. Steven then forgets. Steven realized that he forgot that Pearl Diamond is a serial killer diamond, or a serial diamond killer. Yeah, should I say that? That's what I actually put down. Serial diamond killer is what I actually put down. Okay. We're done playing, said Steven. Then walks to the TV and turns off the game. Oh no, what have I done? Said Purple Diamond. You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. It's okay, Purple. It's just a game. Uh, it's not real stuff. We were just playing. Hold on. None of that stuff were real. No, oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna start all over. You didn't do anything. It's okay, Purple. It's just a game. None of that stuff we were playing isn't real, said Steven. Well, I didn't have to say, said Steven, because I said that's what Steven said. The rest of the three were saying stuff about them being relieved to hear that. Okay, how about we sit around the circle and ask questions about ourselves, said Steven. The three were fine with that. And that's where I stopped writing here, but I get to still come up with ideas of what they were doing and sitting down. Let's see how we can do this. They then circle around, like crisscross their legs, circling around while asking questions. While Steven is asking questions. Sorry. What I remember of doing is this is what Steven had said. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna ask you a question, and then you would answer it, and you can even ask me a question. I can answer it too. And the three of them were fine with that as well. All right, I'll start. I'll start with you, Blue Hemimorphite. Yeah, he was saying that, why do you look different? And Blue Hemimorphite was saying, oh no, what Steven would say is, so Blue Hemimorphite, why do you look different than your mother? And then she responded, oh, that's because because we gems are born opposites from, I've recently learned about that, and opposites, like, we still are related, even when we don't look alike. Kunzite looks like Purple Diamond, even though she's not related to her, or us. You get what I'm saying. Yes, I get what you're saying. And before you ask another question to someone else, every gem is like born opposites from diamonds, and every gem that's born from a diamond does not look like from the diamond, or unless kind of, even unless it's their color and them kind of look alike. Not what I mean is, you can't look like them as a clone, like as almost an entirely a clone, like look similar. And Steven then gets it, and then he moves on to the other person. So, Kunzite, what do you do? What do you do when you serve, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think what he would say. What do you serve your diamond with? And Kunzite would say, Kunzite, oh, I create these rocks, and I use a little bit of magic, and I rub it around her skin, and even on her gem, and I would soothe her with it. And then Steven had asked, Steven was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Alright, Purple Diamond, why do you still wear the same dress after you were poofed? Because normally a gem reforms after they're poofed. Purple Diamond then answered to him, it's because that some gems have actually... I'm sorry for stutter. I'm sorry for stop talking and jumbling it up. I'm trying to, do this without... What I mean is I can easily say it without just looking at it, because I write fast on it, it just gets sloppy on it, but, not because I can talk fast about it. Steven then asked Purple Diamond, I already did say that. Purple Diamond said, well, some of us actually can change dresses only by fashion. We can only reform if we want to. And we get to keep the dresses when we want to. And Steven was saying, oh, well, that makes sense. And, well, you know what? I'm sorry. I should have paused. Why don't I just pause? I'll do that. I'll do that, I'll pause right now. Purple Diamond then asked Steven a question that, so Steven, we know that you told us through the screen that you were born from Pink Diamond, and that's how you are a diamond. But how did you get to see her, during the last moments when she died? Or did she glow? Or did she start, disappearing before you were born? Steven then responded that, Steven then was too sad to respond that. He refuses to answer that, and Pearl Diamond's like, Steven, are you alright? I asked you a question. And Steven then was like, alright, you guys, let's move on to the next game, alright? Let's try and play some card games. And the three of them agreed with that, and they sat down and, I guess, square diamond ways, and Steven gets to pull out the cards and teaches them and tells them that this is a jack, this is a king, this is a queen, and the rest of them are, cards of numbers. And then, now that they know how to play it, Steven then tried to have, what was that? Who can I have? He's like, Kunzite, go ahead and pick a card for me. And see, pick a card, do not show it to me. She then picked a card out. And then Steven was saying, alright, you got your card? She was like, okay, now, don't tell me about what it is. Alright, Blue Hemimorphite. Or Hemimorphite. Pick a card. Do not tell me what it is. She picked a card out. And then she did the same thing with Purple Diamond, telling her, Purple Diamond, pick a card. Any card. Purple Diamond was then okay. And while they were looking away, Purple Diamond was amazed at what she had seen, that is a queen. And after Steven was explaining to them that a queen is a monarch, and the diamonds are monarchs as well, Pearl Diamond thinks of herself as a monarch. And then Kunzite then looked at her card and she said, what the H? And it was a jack. And and then I think I don't know what are those clover things, but she was like, Blue Amy Warfight was like, what the F? And because Steven did tell them what they are, but he never described what they look like in the cards. But then Steven had picked out his cards. Then the game went on, and then the game, like, after after one of them was winning, Pearl Diamond then finally got to the point where she was like getting excited that she had won. She was no. She was like getting excited over beating this card down. She then pulls out her gun and had destroyed the card and had destroyed the floor. And Steve and others were like, and they backed up and they were screaming and they were like, oh my goodness. Like, they were like that. And then Steven was like, oh my god, I'm sorry, Purple. That was a mistake there, okay? I didn't know that. Something like that. And then Kunzai was like, when will you keep your mind for a while over remembering that stuff? And Steven's like, well, I'm trying to. I'm sorry. I just met you guys. And I just met, especially this diamond I just met. Or I don't know if it's the right grammar of the sentence. I just meet, or I just meet, or I just met. Like, it's more likely I just met because that's what most people would say. But whatever which one it is, that's what Steven had said, and Purple Diamond's like, oh, he said, oh, S, and she then puts her gun away and puts it back in her gem, and then Steven's like, how about move to the next game? And then, and Blue Hemimorph was like, the next game? We're more likely done now after this happened. And then Steven was saying that, and then they went down the steps, sat down on the couch, and Steven was, and then Steven apparently was confronting them and saying that, aren't you guys always nice to them? Nice to her? You're nice to Purple Diamond? Like, some, like, excuse the jumbling. Excuse the gibberish, jumbled stuff, but that's what Steven had said about, if they have been nice to her, like, ever been, like, always nice to her. Oh, yeah. He would say this. I thought you guys were nice to her. And then they forgot to explain. Kunzai was then explaining, we forgot to explain this, but we kind of don't want to serve her anymore. Or no, she would say, look, we forgot to tell you about this, but we feel like we don't want to help her anymore. And Steven was like, well, she actually said that while saying it quietly. And Steven was saying that, why? Hemimorphite, Blue Hemimorphite, this is your mother. And Kunzai, you've been her best friend. Like, you've been her best friend for years, and you've actually helped her by being a spare of her being lonely. And she was like saying, yeah, I know all that stuff. I know, I understand what you're saying, but we can't do this anymore. We've been doing this for thousands of years, and I think that now we should just retire. And then Blue Hemimorphite said, and I get fed up with my mother, and I've started to hate her, instead of loving her. If she tries to do this if she tries to kill more lives, and then I swear that me and her will leave this planet and leave my mother behind and never see her again. And then Steven would be like, shh, shh, shh. You know, she could probably hear you up there, right? Well, we're far down, so I don't think it matters. Or, well, yeah. That's what Blue Haven Morphyte was saying. And then Steven was then saying that, Pearl Diamond is doing fine, okay? She's not gonna do any harm. She's not gonna do any harm when she comes down the steps. Or when she comes... I'm sorry I'm gonna say that again. Steven was saying that, Pearl Diamond is not gonna do anything... Pearl Diamond is not gonna do any more wrong things for a while. She's safely up there, and when she comes down, she's not gonna do any more dangerous things. But then, all of a sudden, Pearl Diamond then leaves beside them and runs out the door. And then Steven and the two others, they were looking at her escaping and be like, and Steven's like, Pearl Diamond, no! And then Kunzite was saying, I told you this was gonna be I told you something bad will happen. And Heavy Morphyte said, me too. Then they ran out, and then that's the end of episode 5. See, I came up with good ideas. Like, you see, that's actually good. Alright, so I'm sorry about no longer writing down the journal, but I'm just gonna have to do this without the journal, because I'm not writing a long time doing that. I'm not going to. Alright, so, see ya.